I finally got the wood clay recipe to turn out the way I want it to. I'm going to show you how it's done.
What you want?
Let's go over the materials you're going to need to get this stuff done. We're going to need a bowl. You're going to need some sawdust, some wood glue, joint compound, some linseed oil, some measuring cups, and a spoon. The finer the sawdust, the better end result you're going to have in this clay. The bigger chunks only cause a problem. And this recipe is pretty simple. It's just, and this is for a small batch. You should be able to scale the batch out bigger for bigger batches to make more. But this recipe today is just a cup, 1 cup of joint compound, 3/4 of a cup of glue, and almost, about 1.5 cups of sawdust, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, just depending on the texture, how dry it's getting or not getting, and about a teaspoon or teaspoon and a half of boiled linseed oil. Let's get to making it. First thing we want is 1 cup of joint compound. Next thing we're going to add is our glue. A little bit of boiled linseed oil. Then I'm going to go ahead and mix this all together. Now we're just going to add in our sawdust. There's a cup. I'm going to go ahead and start mixing this. I'm going to use my hands, and this stuff is nasty. It sticks to your hands. Keep a bowl of water close by to you so you can wash your hands off. You don't want to rinse this stuff down your drain. You'll have major plumbing problems after that. So do not run this down your drain. When you get down to the final little bit there, you can see I washed my hands off because that stuff that was on my hands was pretty sticky. Right now it's kind of soft. It does hold shape. It's not as hard as a standard clay. It's more like or even a standard paper clay. It'd be like a wet paper clay. But if you add any more sawdust to this at this point, it's just going to dry out and it doesn't want to stick together. So this is kind of an in-between. You got to just kind of get a little bit of a feel for it. And really I used almost 1 3/4 of a cup. I got a little bit left here, just a little bit left over. You're just going to have to eyeball that part until it starts kind of feeling right and you're getting to a consistency something like this. So we're going to store this in a Ziploc bag just like any paper mache clay and call it good. Well, that's pretty much it. It's a fairly easy recipe. You're talking 1 cup of joint compound, 3/4 of a cup of glue, almost 2 cups of sawdust, or almost 1 3/4 cups right in there. You're really gonna have to judge that. And different woods may soak different. It may adhere. I don't know. So if you got different sawdust from different types of wood, you may need a little more sawdust. You may need a little less. I don't know. This has been an experiment for me, and with the batch of sawdust I have right here, this is what's pretty much been working. And then a little bit of boiled linseed oil. So here's the thing with this clay. If you've used or worked with paper mache clay, whether it be Stalloween's recipe, whether it's Ultimate Paper Mache's recipe, or the recipe that I've got up there, we all know that paper clay is a different animal than standard clay and things like that. Well, this is a completely different animal from paper clay. It reacts a little bit different, and it acts the same in certain ways. It doesn't spread like a recipe I use. I can use the back of a spoon and really spread it and make it smooth. It really, you can't use a spoon to spread this stuff out. You've really got to use your hands to lay this stuff out and then kind of pull your details in with it. I've noticed when I'm trying to smooth with it, my fingers work better than anything else. But when it comes to carving in detail with this stuff, you can get way down in there and just scrape things out. You don't have those paper fibers pulling when you're trying to make intricate cuts or things. That's not there. It's like cutting through sand. It also does not shrink very much. I was really happy with the fact that there's hardly any shrinkage when this stuff dries. So that was a plus. It takes a little bit of learning to work with it. It's different. So if you're used to standard paper mache, paper clay, you may get frustrated with this. This probably may not be for everybody out there, but if it's something different, if you want to give it a try, go for it. Maybe you can add something else to it to make it a better recipe than what I've done so far. This is just the first bits of testing that I've done, and so far this is working out, and I'll probably tweak it more later on to make it fit better. I like it. I'm going to continue to use it, along with standard paper clay and everything else, but I do like this, and I'm going to be making some more things with it. And real quick before I let you guys go, I'm going to address a couple questions that I had on the previous video about this stuff. People were asking where you get the sawdust or where to get sawdust. Me personally, I've got a friend who has a wood shop and he does a lot of woodworking. He repairs furniture and builds furniture and things like that. So I have an endless supply of sawdust, which is great for me. If you had your own saw out in the garage, a table saw or whatever, you could go buy wood, I suppose, and get a collector on it and just saw down one piece of wood to nothing, and you would probably have a ton of sawdust that would last you for a while. Other than that, you know, if you have a local high school or a school somewhere that has a wood shop in it, you might be worth your time to go talk to them. I would say that more than likely they wouldn't have a problem at all donating sawdust to you. You might wind up with an endless supply of sawdust by doing something like that for absolutely no cost. So go check those things out. You may be able to find a way to get a supply of sawdust if you don't have your own shop or know someone who's got one. You guys can make a small batch yourself. Go try it out. See if it's something that you like. You may hate it. Let me know in the comments below what you think about it. If you make something with it, share that down there too. Or go to Halloween Paper Mache Facebook group and share some pictures there. I would like to see different creations that maybe you guys have done with the sawdust clay or the wood clay, however you want to call it. Till next time, keep making something from nothing.